Hello, it's me, Nancy Harkness. I am live here on Facebook. I am celebrating the release of Royal Caleva Luis, which is book 2 in my Royal Caleva series, and Luis is the king. It is available on Kindle, in print, and audio today. You can get them all. On Kindle, there is a special price of $2.99 for the rest of this week, actually until July 2nd. And I just want to remind you that all the royalties for pre-orders and all the sales for this whole week up until July 2nd will be going to Clarion Paws, P-A-W-S, which is a no-kill feline rescue organization in Western Pennsylvania. It was nominated for the donation by Dr. Darling Daughter, who is a veterinarian in Western Pennsylvania, actually, in Pittsburgh. She says they do amazing work, and my newsletter subscribers, my wonderful newsletter subscribers, voted amongst several organizations, and they voted for Clarion Paws. So if you buy the book, if you already bought the book, and if you buy the book before July 2nd, your money will be supporting kitties. And my kitties, Skoda and Moby, thank you very much for that. I see Gail is here. Hi, Gail. So nice to have you. Oh, no, Ellen, you're having a storm? Ouch. Like a thunder and lightning storm? Ugh, no fun. Sorry to hear that. I hope you can stay as long as possible. I want to say a thank you. Well, first, thank you to everyone who has bought the book already. Obviously, I am hugely, hugely grateful to you. I also want to say thank you to my treasured review crew who have posted reviews on Amazon, Goodreads, and BookBub. You guys are fantastic. I've been reading the reviews. I mean, I love hearing all the good things, but also the truth of the matter is they really help sell more books. Amazon's mysterious algorithms like to see reviews. So you guys are tremendously helpful to the book's visibility. Thank you so, so much. And I would like to, since we have a few faithful people here, I am going to give away an autographed copy of Royal Caleva Luis. All you have to do is type in the word book in the comments. So Ellen, before you fade out, type in book really fast if you'd like an autographed copy. Actually, you get one anyway, because you're on a review crew. So thunderstorms, Ellen. Oh, I'm sorry I'm fading in and out. I'm sorry I can't do anything about that, alas. Okay, so I just have to say, I love Luis. I really do. My Silver Fox. It's the first time I've written a book with mature characters as the romance, and I really enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I really enjoyed it. It was also really, really interesting to write about a king. I mean, think about a king. It's interesting. So Gail says it won't let you type book. Ouch. All right, Gail. I understand if you're thinking book, you're in. Patricia's here. Hi, Patricia. Another one from down south of here. And we have more people coming in. So who are all these people? Just say hi in the comments. And if you would like to be eligible to win an autographed copy of Royal Caleva Luis, just type the word book into the comments. Patricia says, loved the book. Thank you so much. Ellen says, I enjoyed the mature romance. Yay! It's nice, right? It was a little different for me, and I really enjoyed writing it. Shell's here. Yay! Hi, Shell. How are you? Shell runs the reader page Swaggering Shout Out here on Facebook. She's a great supporter of the romance genre. So I promised that, and we'll just hold up Gabrielle at the same time. I mean, two really good looking guys, right? Really good looking. I love the covers for this series. Love, love, love them. Gosh, Gabrielle is a thick book. It's heavy. But so I'd also like to say thank you to Eileen Carey, my cover designer, who does these gorgeous, gorgeous covers. So I promised to share with you my tiara collection, because where there's a king, there are crown jewels, of course. Let's see, what else do people say here? Shell says, I love them both so much. Thank you, Shell. And Patricia says, fine, guys. Oh, yes, very fine, right? Very, very fine. And just so you know, Raul's book is the one I'm working on now, so it will be next. It will be out next year because, as you know, I'm a slow writer. So I apologize for the delay, but it's the only way I can write a good book for you guys, and I want the books to be good. So my tiara collection actually started long before I wrote the Royal Caleva series. It all started with my wonderful friend and professional romance fan, Stephanie Hyacinth, who posted on Facebook her birthday tiara. Turns out she gets a new tiara for every birthday. And I thought, that is a really cool idea because you know me, I like all things sparkly. So I thought, I think I'm going to have a new tiara for every release day. Every book I release, I get a new tiara. So I started very modestly. This was my first one because I wasn't too sure about this whole concept. And, it, you know, no color, just diamonds. I mean, rhinestones, obviously. Can you see it? So this was my first tiara. It's very pretty. And the other thing about it is very lightweight. It's very comfortable to wear, which I didn't realize was an issue until I started getting a little bigger. So this was my next one. Trying to get them on straight. Shell says, I adore your tiaras. They're always so pretty. Thank you, Shell. I adore my tiaras too. It's just fun, right? Why not have fun? Why not feel like a queen for a day? Just to see some other comments. Shell says, I can't wait for him, meaning Raul. And Patricia says, can't wait for Raul. I know, sorry it takes a while, guys. But seriously, I really do write as fast as I can. I work all the time on writing. It just takes me a while. So this was my second one. Also very pretty. Also pretty comfortable because small and light. And then I started getting a little bigger. This one, why do I seem to keep getting them on crooked? What do you think? This was a big one. It's heavy. And still just the diamonds, right? Mary Clark says, always worth the wait. Oh, you are so sweet, Mary. Right? This one's fun. I kind of like this. This is one of my favorites. But they're getting a little heavier, honestly. Now, then I decided to try for some color. So, I don't know if you can see this has some blue, but I didn't go crazy on this one, just the blues. However, the one thing I discovered when I ordered this, see the ends? So, as compared to these ends. So if you have slippery straight hair like me, these ends don't work so well. This is really meant for when you have an updo and you can put bobby pins in your hair. So they tricked me. But it's still, you know, if I squish it, it still stays on. Sort of balance it. So it's very pretty, right? I like that one too. Subtle for a tiara. If tiaras can be subtle. And then I went back to bigger, but I decided to try gold. I think this one looks a little Statue of Liberty-ish. What do you think? A little Statue of Liberty? Shell says that matches Louise. Which one matches Louise, Shell? This one or the blue? This one's pretty much queenly, wouldn't you say? It's big. It's big and it's heavy. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's heavy. It's one of the ones that I can't really wear for very long before it gives me a headache. This one is one of my favorites. It's not too heavy, and I like the red a lot because I like red. I have red hair, you can see that. I like the red. It's also, it evokes the red Calavan lilies for me, you know, the dementia curing lilies. So I decided this is one of my Calavan ones. And then I have a necklace that is red lilies, which I forgot. I should have put it on. That goes very nicely with this because it's the lilies have gold. This has gold. It's pretty, right? It's a little Statue of Liberty too, except that it's red. So I figure that kind of evens it up. Then I discovered this amazing tiara website called Be Elemental. And the problem with Be Elemental is that they give you a great deal if you buy multiple tiaras at the same time. Now, this is a very dangerous thing for me, obviously. Let's see. What are we saying here? Shell says the blue matches Louise. Oh, matches the book cover. Right. Oh, sorry. You're right. It does. Shell loves the red. Patricia loves the red. Mary says it matches my hair. Right. I think that's what I like about it, too. The red one looks like a working queenly one. Yes, Gail. Absolutely. This is definitely, where did I put it? Definitely the tiara of an everyday working queen. Absolutely. I should wear this when I'm writing, right? Because I'm an everyday working queen when I'm writing. I love it. Love it, love it. Okay, so I found this Be Elemental one, and they offered me a deal that I just couldn't resist. So I bought a bunch of tiaras. So this one's emeralds. And again, I was sort of going for Calavan green. You know, the Calavan dragons are greeny, although this was more green, whereas I think of them as being more teal. So that was one that I got. Then another one that matches Louise, but it has the circular ends because I forgot to check. So blue and blue. What do you think? What do you think? Pretty blue, isn't it? I do like the blue. So got that one at the same time. And then I went for another emerald one, which frankly, I think it's a little over the top. It's, and it's also got the circular ends, so it doesn't fit quite as well. But it's a little Statue of Liberty-ish too. Or maybe, it almost looks more like an empress, don't you think? I was thinking like Russian czars, czarinas, that kind of thing. I don't know, what do you think? It's pretty. Also heavy. Okay, so, all right, so this one I bought because it really is the color that I think of as Calavan green or Calavan teal. It is enormous. What do you think, guys? I couldn't resist. That is one very large tiara, right? Again, empressy. Or maybe, you know, it's for coronations and things like that, right? Helen says, I'll have to write books to match the new tiaras. Now, there's a thought. So let's see what everybody's saying here. Nice. Oh, whoops. Wow. Getting a lot. The blue is beautiful, stately for sure. Yes, very stately. So pretty, holy moly, very in charge. Yeah, like giant, right? Terry, hi Terry, so nice to see you here. Thank you for your congratulations. Mary says, very Calavan about this one. Yeah, I kind of like this one. Also, you know, Caleva is surrounded by ocean, so it sort of evokes water. And if you've read Royal Caleva Luis, you know that there's this very blue volcanic pool, caldera, that they go visit. And I sort of picture the water as this color. So I thought this one was really fun. Again, very heavy. Let's see, what do people say? Mary says, very Calavan. Shell says, I'm thinking backstory on Calavan royalty. Oh, you're not kidding, Shell. Sorry, my hair's messed up. You're not wrong. I'm definitely working on that. In fact, what I'm doing, if I sometimes start these things and don't finish them, but I decided that Raul is writing a slightly irreverent history of Caleva. And so I did start writing that, starting back. Ellen says, will Grace get her own book? And now that is a very good question. I didn't originally intend that, but I also didn't originally know that Grace was going to be part of Caleva. So my plan is Raul is next, then Mikkel. That's going to be a tough book to write. Then Grace. But I may reverse that and do Grace and then Mikkel, because I think Mikkel's backstory is very dark. I already know that. And I think that's going to be a tough book for me to write. But Tricia says, does it give you a headache? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. These things will give you a wicked headache especially one like this, if you wear it too long. Although if you're careful about how you shape it, because they do bend a little bit, and sort of how you orient it on your head, it's better or worse, depending. Then, let's see. Shell says, yes, I knew it. Go Shell. Mary says, wedding, Quinn. Okay, Mary, so you're my plan, now you have to keep in mind I'm a pantser, right? Which means that I don't outline books ahead of time. I just start writing them and see what happens. I literally see what happens because that's just how I write. My plan is that in this book, Raoul's book, the wedding is in this book. I actually even already wrote it, but then I decided it was going to be at the beginning of the book, and then I decided it didn't work at the beginning of the book, so I'm going to move it into the book. Now, things change sometimes, so I can't swear to you that it will be there, but my plan right now is to have it there. And then maybe, so obviously we'll be seeing the wedding from Raoul and his love interest's point of view in this book. I might write a quick short story or novella that will show us the wedding from Gabrielle and Quinn's point of view, because I think it would be nice to have that, right? I'd kind of like to do that. Shell says, I am so curious about him. About Mikkel? Probably about Mikkel, right? And Ellen says, Grace is young and fun. Exactly. So it'd be nice to have her story, right? Okay, so here's the last tiara I'm going to wear to show you because it's my favorite. It has a dragon on it. So this is the dragon tiara, right? And of course the royal family's last name is Dragon. Dragon, named after the Calevan dragons. Fix that. And this one's actually pretty comfortable. But isn't that fun? I love the dragon on this one. And it doesn't give me a headache, right? Yeah, I found this one on Etsy, interestingly enough. So I have all sorts of sources for tiaras. I've gotten some of them on Amazon. Amazingly enough, Amazon has some nice ones. I think maybe, I thought this one may have come from Amazon, actually. But you see it sort of picks up the same colors as that. And then I have these. So this is Louise's crown, in my mind. I bought this specifically because I saw it when I was looking for tiaras, and I decided it was Louise. It just, to me, it evokes, Caleva was founded by Ricardo El Rojo, the Spanish pirate who was being pursued and sailed into the mists of Caleva and found refuge there. And this just looks to me, it's a little rough. It's not elegant. It looks more like a Calevan pirate to me. The problem with these is you can't wear them. They just don't. So what I've realized is, when you see the Queen of England or the King of England wearing the crown and it has like the red velvet and the ermine under it, that's so it fits their head, because the metal thing, it's stiff. So you need something to sit it up on. So now I know why they always have the ermine and the velvet is not just to look pretty, it's actually practical. And then just to show you, this is the Queen's crown. A very dear friend gave this to me because she decided this should be the Queen's crown. And see, it's very beautiful colors and Calevan colors. We have the blue, we have some green, the Calevan green, the blue of the sea. We have the lavender of the Vajo hibiscus. And it's just a very pretty delicate crown, but again, can't actually wear it because you have to balance it on your head like a book, right? You have to have good posture, but it's very pretty. So now, if you had an updo, you could wear these, but I don't do updos because my hair just falls right out of them. It's so slippery. All right, so I'm going to put my favorite, my dragon crown, back on. And that is my entire tiara collection. Does anybody have other questions? I'm happy to answer them. Let's see, what do we see? Dragon is perfect. So fitting for Louise. Beautiful. Love the colors. They can sit on pillows. Yes, Gail. They can. I sometimes do sit them on pillows as a sort of display thing, except the cats would push them out of the way. Yeah, you have a point. Especially because I do have these two circular black velvet pillows on chairs in my living area. And they're perfect for putting crayons on, but you can imagine what cat hair looks like on a black velvet pillow. So I don't use them for that very often for that very reason. Because very, very bad. So just want to remind everyone, are there any more questions? Oh, and one more chance. If you would like to win an autographed copy of Royal Caleva Louise, please type book into the comments and you will be entered in the drawing. Okay, so let's see. Mary Jane's here. Hi, Mary Jane. Mary Jane says, oh goodness, comments are jumping all over the place. Shell says, how did you create such a vivid scene when they were watching the Calevan dragons? I don't know. I'm a very visual writer. It's like writing a movie in my head. I literally see all the scenes in my head. And as I'm writing it, I'm looking around the scene. I'm standing in the scene myself and I'm looking around and I'm deciding what details the reader needs to see in the scene. What is important for everyone to see. Oh, bye, Ellen. Bye. Sorry the storm is hitting you. What is important for the reader to see that will put them in the scene as though they were there in reality, like being in a movie. You're there in it. And then I kind of watch the movie unspool in my head and I describe it as it unspools in my head. So I guess that's how I do the scenes. That's how I do any scene, honestly. I loved writing the Calevan dragon scene because I've always wanted to write dragons. And since I don't write fantasy, the only way I get to do it is if they're giant lizards in Caleva, right? So, and just so you know, Raoul's book features Calevan dragons in a big way, which I think will be fun. Okay, what else? We got some people saying book. What else have we got here? Mary Jane says, love all of your tarot. Thank you so much, Mary Jane. They're fun, aren't they? They're really fun. And they're a pretty harmless addiction, I think. Mary says, when did you know romance was your genre? Oh, I don't think I ever considered writing anything else ever. Well, I read poetry, okay, but that's different. I read romance from a very early age, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre, and then my grandmother got me hooked on Georgette Heyer's Regency romance novels, which I just devoured. As soon as my grandmother finished one, she would send it to me, and then I would just, shut myself up in my room and read it all in one big gulp because I loved it so much. So I can't imagine writing anything but romance. It was always my comfort read. It's still my comfort read. I love a love story. I love a good love story. For me, when I'm watching a movie or I'm reading a book that isn't a romance, the minute a love story comes into it, it's like my whole sort of being suddenly focuses because I'm excited about the love story. So writing romance is what I find exciting and moving and emotional and just, it's my happy place. So good question though. Shell said, it did. I saw myself sitting by those rocks watching. Oh, thank you, Shell. That makes me so happy. That's exactly what I want you to feel when you're reading one of my books. I always say I write immersive stories. And what I mean by that is that I want you to feel like you are in the story. And I work really hard to do that. So it makes me very happy when someone says that I have succeeded in doing that. Because that's the way I like books. I like the books I read myself to be immersive so that I'm swept into the story and I forget. I mean, if you ever had that sensation, I think you tend to have it more when you walk out of a movie, maybe sometimes, particularly during the day. But that sensation where you stop reading and you look around and you're like, what? Where am I? Because you feel like you're still in the book world. And to suddenly be in the real world is a little bit of a shock, right? You have to sort of take a minute to pull yourself out of it, out of the book world. And that's what I'm always trying to do because I like reading those books. Shell said that Whisper Horse series dragged me into it big time. Oh, I'm so happy, Shell. Yeah, the Whisper Horse series is the one that's set in West Virginia where I grew up. And the town of Sanctuary in the book is modeled loosely on the town of Lewisburg, West Virginia, where I grew up. So I had a lot of memory detail to put into that book. I didn't have to go anywhere to pull that out of my head. I think that's why I tend to write books that are set in locations that I know very well. So people are always saying, you went to Scotland, don't you want to write a book set in Scotland? And the problem is I don't live there. So it's hard for me to write immersive about a place where I didn't spend a significant amount of time. I mean, I can write about West Virginia because I spent years and years there. I can write about metropolitan New York because that's where I live. I think it would be hard for me to get that same sense of being in the book. Although I'm willing to try. I always take copious notes when I travel and lots of pictures, partly because I like taking pictures. And I always think I'm going to write a book set in one of those places, like Alaska. I was absolutely determined to write a book set in Alaska. Actually, I was going to set it on a cruise ship in Alaska because we took a cruise through Alaska, and I just thought it was fascinating. But I realized I didn't know enough about it to give you the right sensation, so I never did. So Caleva has been an interesting experience because, of course, it doesn't exist. I confess that I have drawn heavily on the Azores, which are islands owned by Portugal in the Atlantic Ocean, sort of where Caleva is in my imagination. And I use them a lot for climate and flora and fauna, except for the Calevan dragons, obviously. And I made up the Vaho hibiscus. But I try to keep it, authentic or within reason, within the bounds of reason. Even though it's a fictional country, because I want you to feel like it's real. And the wonderful thing is I do read the reviews that say, could you please get me on a flight to Caleva? I want to go take a vacation there. And that makes my writer's heart very happy, because that's what I want you to feel like. It's an escape, right? You should be able to escape to Caleva. And of course, I started writing Gabrielle's book during the lockdown of the pandemic because I wanted to escape. So that was the original impulse for the whole series, and I'm glad that I'm succeeding. So thank you all so very much for coming. Thank you so very much for buying the book, all the books. Does anybody else want to put book in the comments to be eligible to win an autographed copy of Royal Caleva Luis? Shell has another question. Can you give us hints about Raoul's story? This is why it's tough being a pantser. I can give you hints. As I said, it's going to feature Calevan dragons in a significant way. I plan to have the wedding in it because, because Raoul will be the best man, and because we all want to see the wedding. Although I've now already written it, so I've seen the wedding. What else? It's going to be a little more suspensey than Luis's was. Probably more like Gabrielle's as far as suspense goes. What else? I think, although this can change, right now the heroine is actually from Caleva, so not an American heroine, so that's a little different. And right now, again, this could change, Pantser. She is the pilot who flies Gabrielle's private jet. Gabrielle, at the end of his book, buys his own private jet because he's been using the Dragon jet up to this point, but since he's running the Dragon Fest, the music festival, he really needs to be able to jet around the world at the drop of a hat. And of course Luis needs to use his jet, so they had conflicting jet needs. So Gabrielle buys his own jet, and Raoul's heroine is the pilot, which I thought was kind of fun, right? Of course, as a psychiatrist would point out, I have a really severe fear of flying. I do not like to fly. I do it because I have to, but I really hate it. So, as a psychiatrist would point out, I'm clearly working out my fear of flying by writing about a pilot. So Shell, that's kind of what I know about it so far, because it's a Pantser thing. Let's see. Mary Clark says, my pleasure to support. Thank you, Mary. Mary Jane says, love your books. Thank you. Shell says, cool. Oh, good. Gail says, such a problem scheduling jets. I know, right? That's like not even a first world problem. That's pretty much a royal problem, I would say. Yeah. But I mean, that's the fun part of writing about royalty, right? They're rich. So it's, billionaire level stuff. And it's that fantasy is fun. It's fun to play with. It's fun for me as an author to play with. I assume it's fun for you as a reader to read, since you say you like the books. So yeah, I like playing with the private jets. And you know, tiaras. If you all read the novella How to Plan a Royal Wedding, you saw the tiaras in the royal vault and down in the basement of the castle, where Queen got to pick out the tiara to wear in the wedding. And stuff like that is just fun. I mean, living in a castle, remember, because I'm writing immersive fiction, I get to live through these scenes too, which is fun. Okay, Shell says, okay, I'll be patient, thank you. Shell says, I so love this series and will follow as long as you write. Oh, you're the best. Well, looks like Grace has got to be done then, right? We got to keep this series going. I was thinking too, I don't know if this will work, and maybe it will be a novella, but I'd kind of like to straighten out Hélène and Lorenzo's marriage. You know, as you know, it's a very unhappy one. Nobody knows why except me, and I only sort of know why. And I'm thinking, you know, again, an older couple, they're already married, but they need to fall in love again because they have obviously fallen out of love. So I might do that, which would extend the series, but that might just be a novella. And the other thing I thought of doing is maybe, so Royal Caleva, I'm running out of royal family members, right? Maybe we could do noble Caleva and have some nobility in Caleva. I mean, there is nobility in Caleva. We talk about the dukes and the marquesas and, you know, the countesses, etc. So, you know, maybe that could be a sort of spin-off-y series where we still see the royal family because the nobles socialize with them, interact with them, but then I could open it up to more characters. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm a slow writer, as I keep saying, one book a year, sometimes a novella when I'm lucky. So it could keep going for a while, I guess. Shell says, that would be great. Oh, thanks. Glad you like that idea. It's been sort of noodling around in my head. Okay, well, I got nothing else. I just wanted to remind you that I'll be celebrating here on Facebook all week, including next Monday, July 1st, with a giveaway every day and Royal Trivia every day. So be sure, Royal Trivia, you play for a $5 Amazon gift card. And the giveaways are obviously giveaways, so you just have to wait and see what I decide to give away. And some of it's pretty weirdly random, I'll be honest. I went through my stash because I like to collect giveaways all year because it's fun to shop. So some of it's a little random, but I think it's fun. It's all fun. It may not be royal, but it's all fun. So Kim says, late again. Oh, Kim, I'm so sorry, but it's nice that you made it. And Kim, I sent out your books today, just so you know. No, yesterday. I sent them out yesterday, so they're on their way. Mary says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Kim says, happy release day. I appreciate that. Gail says, thanks for the great reads. Thanks for these gorgeous books, and happy release day. Shell, thanks for the live, and thank you for this series. Love you, Nancy. I love you guys, too. You are the best. And I will actually be back here at 2 p.m. tomorrow at my regular time for Writer Unedited. No idea what I'm going to talk about. But thank you all so very much for joining me to celebrate the release of Royal Caleva. Luis, it means so much to me because it's an exciting day. It's also a tough day. I'm sending my baby out into the world, and I don't know how the world will receive him. But it's also exciting because of people like you, readers like you, who understand him and embrace him. So thank you. Alrighty. Anybody who wants a copy, just type book in the comments and you'll be in the running for one. I'm only giving away one though, just to be clear. Okay, hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Thank you. Take care. Be good. No, don't be good. Have fun. Have fun.